we're going to talk about personal branding. So first of all, I'm going to define what personal branding is. What is personal branding? Am I allowed to interact with people? I love interactive. Can I have two hands? What do you think personal branding is? Okay, so he says the mask that you have to the world. Basically, he's saying your face in front of the world. Anybody else? The last hand? Oh yes, please.
Personal branding is how you profile yourself, how you carry yourself, what people know about you, what you do, basically everything that speaks about you. So it could be on social media, it could be in your day-to-day interactions in your workplace, and even socially, any sphere really that you belong to, you carry a brand because of who you are, how you do things, and everything about you.
I love that. I love that. I think she's pretty much summed it up. So the conversation will be around that. How people see you, the image that you portray, the values that you hold, all speak to your brand. Now, there are two types of brand. There's a good brand and there's a wise brand, right? There's a brand that represents value. And then there's the brand that's, is going to make people laugh here and there. You're a comedian, and once they have a good laugh, they get back to business because you are not relevant on the serious side. So my point is, my conversation is going to be focused on how can we create a brand that positions you in the market to be the person that anybody would want to work with. Now, how do you establish a strong brand image?
I believe the authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
That's when you can use a strong brand.
Okay.
The other thing, you need to be consistent. And you need to know the people to work with.
Yeah.
In order for you to have a strong brand.
Okay, I love that. I feel like that's the second step. The first step, I feel the most important thing is your strong belief system. Discovering God. What are the values in your life? Who determines what you do? Things like stewardship, integrity, honesty, those inform your brand, right? In honesty at this point is a very expensive currency, because what people are looking for is, we're living at a time when it's really hard for people to find honest people. So these are some of the things that you have to look at. So you have to look at what are your values, and what informs your values is what you believe in. We agree, right? I'm in a house of the Lord, so I expected a lot of cheer, So values build credibility and trust. And who informs your values? We read the Bible. The Bible has taught us so many traits of a Christian. Incorporate that in your brand, because that informs things that you're going to participate in and that you're not going to participate in. If you want to be honest, you're not going to find yourself doing a shady in whatever industry you're in. So your values will inform your brand. The other thing that you also have to do, that first of all has to go with what do you believe? How is your relationship with God? If your relationship with God is unstable, obedience is not going to be easy. Therefore, you are going to compromise on your values. But if you are well aligned with God and want to do His will, you are going to ensure that everything that you do aligns with His purpose, and also your actions do not compromise your faith. Right? So the first thing that we need to do is to discover, build a relationship with God. And then your relationship with God informs your values. What are your core values? Every institution, even this church, if we ask the pastor, we ask him what are the values, he's going to give us an outline. So no, the core values that inform what we do as a church is we help people, we are empathetic, we are honest, we are transparent. All those things. Every organization has values, but what informs the values is what the organization believes in. This is where God comes in, right? That is the first one. The next point is discover yourself. This is the point that the gentleman was saying there. If you are not self-aware, it is very easy to be shaken. right? Knowing yourself, knowing your strengths, knowing your ability, knowing what makes you who you are is going to inform your brand image, right? So who is Melindah? Melindah is a philanthropist. I love to help people. So everything I do, being a Christian who loves to help people, is going to be centered around doing something that is close to who I am. Once you know who you are, it's going to help you create an image. So basically, like he said, it's the first to what people see. So your brand is your mask, right? Your name is what's going to get you into rooms without you being present. Oh yeah? Your name is what gets you into rooms. Now your name has to be structured. If somebody mentions Melindah, if we know Mizinga, we know what she does. She's in finance, she's in banking. That is her brand. For her to have built that, she established, no, I love to help people because I want to be in the finance sector. In here, they are engineers. In here, we have good salespeople. In here, we have got business people, people that can look at the model and analyze it and identify the weaknesses and strengths. In here, we have people that can sell. By virtue of just telling them to sell this laptop, they can even sell the laptop to you. That costs $5,000, they sell it at $50,000. That's a gift. So structure your brand around things that come easy to you. So identify what do you want to be recognized for, right? Then identify what values do I want my brand to be associated with. If you are a person that people say you talk too much, get into a field that requires you to talk a lot. Be a public speaker, right? If you're a person that writes a lot, be an author. Because that's something that can allow you to not only build your brand, but also further the work of the Lord. Do what you can with the tools that God has given you. Each one of you has something in you. You just need to introspect and identify what is it that makes me unique. Ask people around you, what makes me unique? What do you think I do that is so easy for you? You don't have to stress, you have to stress to do it. Right? Then also importantly, how you portray yourself. So these three things I mentioned. First of all, you know your values. Second of all, you know yourself. The third of all, you need to know what you're capable of. Once you know these things, now you build a brand. You build your brand around those three things. So everything that you do should inform that. Everything that you put should be something that is feeding into that. So all your actions have to align with your brand. I'll pause for some questions at this point. So you've identified you are passionate about philanthropy. Let me use myself as an example. I'm passionate about helping people. I want the foundation that assists orphan children, and so I've established that, right? So now, having established that, what do? I have to be visible. People want to know about Melindah until I show them who Melindah is, right? So publish yourself in social media platforms. I'm sure you've seen people have pages. So now all your posts on that page should align with your values. And put action to your word. Yeah, put action to your word. If you are going to be a philanthropist, do philanthropic work. Put traction in your word. Say you are a pastor, you have to constantly minister and show that you are constantly ministering. We live in a world where people will first Google you before they can even see you. They'll first check on Facebook, Melindah, who's Melindah? So they'll first Google and see, then they'll decide, should I see them or not? No, I think they're not serious. That all speaks into your visibility. What do you post on social media? What you post, the comments that you put on certain posts, some of you are actively participating in these gossips around social media. That is affecting your brand image. Especially these big organizations, they have a person dedicated to looking at people that have applied at these jobs. That person's job is just to look at people's social media platforms. What does this person engage in? And people don't want to be associated with a person that is engaging in things that would tarnish their brand image. Because it is critical to maintain your reputation. Remember, your name is what gets you through the room. When you've added action, ensure that you maintain consistent with that. So post yourself. First of all, if you're a professional who wants to be visible, get on LinkedIn. And every now and then, each week, at least post 2 pages. If you're just starting, research about the field that you are in. If you are a lawyer, research about what are the things that are relevant. Identify something that you want to be known for. Are you a lawyer dedicated to helping children? Or are you a lawyer dedicated to marriages? Do you want to specialize in a particular area? Once you've identified what you specialize in, talk about those things. Raise issues that are challenging in there and provide solutions. So that when people think about sales, they'll think Melindah is coming. When people think about insurance, they'll think Prudential. That is tied around the marketing strategies and the profile that Prudential has put. So every post Prudential, you'll never find a company posting something they are not selling. So why do we people do that? Right? Why do people do that? The same way a company is a person, you're also a person marketing yourself. We live in a very highly competitive place. You want your brand to speak for you. So did I answer your question? So first of all, be visible. Get onto professional platforms like LinkedIn. It will help you get access to various professionals. That's where CEOs are. That's where managers are. That's where your potential employer is. Or your potential partners, because I believe there are some entrepreneurs. So most people will scan through your page and say, this person is engaging in these scandals. No. Let me not engage. Then there are those that are going to look at you and say, I think when there's need for comedy, we'll call this person. All that comes from how do you brand yourself. All this also goes with your work ethic. I said put action to your what? To your brand. So your work ethic also, what you're given to do diligently, right? So you have a brand image. For example, me, if you check my posts on LinkedIn, they're always about insurance. What value am I providing? They're always about insurance because that is me. But they're also tied to the fact that I want to help people. And insurance helps me help people. You get it, right? So establish yourself, make yourself visible, have a work ethic that informs that. Ensure that you follow your values to the letter. Right? And then communication. Get into rooms. Yes. Yeah.
In your line of philanthropy, what are some of the challenges that you face when you are building your brand?
I started when I was very young. You know, when you're young, your ambition outweighs your knowledge. You're like, I want to be known, I want to be known. So I didn't research on what was important when I was establishing my foundation. So I would find that the moment I'm trying to do a project, I kickstart the project. Then I find the hurdle. They send me back to step 1 while I've already done 5 steps because I didn't create a proper foundation. That is why I said research on the field that you are interested in. Know what it is that is relevant in that field. So have you heard the saying, a jack of all trades is not a master of all of them, but better than somebody that doesn't know anything? Right. So it's also an angle of growth. You want to establish yourself in a particular industry. Yes, you are a baker, but is that a hobby or something you want to be known for? You get the idea. Is it, I'm a philanthropist, but I have a business, right? Which one do I want to be known for as an expert? You can be an expert of 5 fields. When you have established yourself and you've grown, even every business, it specializes in one thing. Okay, first we sell auto parts, but then we want to reach a point where now we'll be training people that are experts in engineering in a particular, in the same auto parts, or we want to train mechanics. The first thing that people will be known for is one brand, then they diversify. But you first need to identify, what do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known as a baker? Do you want to be known as a lawyer? And then penetrate that industry to a point where now you don't need to be there actively involved in your brand image. You have a PA doing all that work. Then now you can diversify. But there's no harm in you doing multiple things that you're doing, but pick one and then that. Establish yourself in that field. You can be an entrepreneur, but still be a lawyer. But what do you want to be known for? Basically ask yourself, what legacy do I want to be known for? Did I answer your question?
There are two ones. That
Yeah.
if the one you're really good at just the will of God. The one that aligns with the will of God doesn't treat you. How do you?
So first of all, that starts with, why are you in a field that doesn't align with God? Remember we said discover what? Yourself. God comes first before anything else. Right? His will comes first before anything. In things that will compromise your faith or your standing with the Lord. Because it's not worth it at the end of the day. Right? You can't compromise your standing with God because you want to make an income. It will cost you your soul, which is a priceless, should I say a priceless gift or something? Yes.
So, maybe just to ask, what is the role of dressing when you're building your brand? Does dress code have a role to play in that?
Dress code is really critical, right? How you dress really informs how people react to you. If you are dressed in an indecent way, people will not take what you say seriously, especially in the professional sense. I believe everybody in this room is a professional, right? In whatever context that you are. Your dress code is really critical. And it has to be consistent, not just when you're going for work, you dress well, and over the weekend you're in a bum short. Your client will meet you in a bum short. So dress code is really critical. You want to dress in a way that is your industry, right? In finance, there are certain colors that you wear. If you are in lawyers, there are 3 colors.
Yes.
Stated in the Constitution, no two ways about it.
Yeah.
It is because it is critical. How you dress informs how people will talk to you. Haven't you ever, I think for me, we're in the insurance sector,
Yeah.
right? We are in a sales where you have to go to companies and approach different people. If I'm dressed a certain type of, people will not even pay attention.
Yeah.
But the moment I suit up and I get into a room, they'll even offer me coffees. Please, have a seat, let me get this. The CEO is just in a meeting.
That's right.
Immediately they are free, I'll inform you. It's because your dress code affects how people treat you.
So someone can
So,
write
yeah.
you off just based on how you're dressed.
Definitely, definitely. They won't even pay attention because you don't look serious.
Yes.
Especially serious people. They would first of all look at you. We live in a world where perception is the first thing. People will look at you face value and interpret, do I want to engage in this person or not?
Yeah.
Is this person dressed in such a way that they'll provide value to me? Time is of essence.
Yeah.
So your dress code first communicates. Just the same way your name gets you into rooms, your dress code can get you through doors that are closed. Yeah.
And it's not just dress code, it's also grooming.
Yes. How you look, your hair,
your nails,
everything. Self-grooming
the
is
color
really
of your
critical.
hair,
Yes,
everything.
true. Color of the hair. We live in maroon, red, crazy colors. In our industry, that is not welcome.
Looking like a football fan from Brazil.
Certain haircuts also.
Certain
Certain haircuts are not welcome. People will take you not serious,
Hallelujah.
You've drawn 3 lines in your head.
Okay, so in terms of social media, I mean, you did describe a situation where if you're getting hired, the HR or the recruitment people will go on your social media account, see the kind of things you post. Now, and you mentioned a lot about values. Is that something that organizations are looking for now? They want to understand your values from the things you post, and that speaks to your branding. Should you be scared attending crusades or you were at church meetings or posting those types of things on your social media account because then it speaks to your personal brand?
Quite nowadays, brands are looking for people with value because we are living at a generation where morality is becoming very scarce, right? And nobody wants to engage with someone they can't trust.
Yeah.
So now, how would they know that they can trust you? It's based on what you post, based on, first of all, how you look. What do you post? What are the things that you are participating in? They can't know that I am a Christian until I show them that I am a Christian. I'm here. For example, I'll give a practical example. When I was in university, I was actively participating in church, Sabbath school, the lessons that we provide.
Yeah.
And so when I graduated, they awarded me the award. And so when I was applying for a job, the one particular HR says, this is really critical because it shows that you have certain values that you're not willing to compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you say to someone who's built a brand without knowing? I mean, you've had your social media accounts, you've been posting all sorts of things, and then today Melinda has come and spoken and your eyes have opened. But now your brand was taking you this way while you should be going that way. I mean, how do you reconcile that situation now?
It's not too late to start. First of all, delete if there are things that misrepresented who you are now. We are born again. God gives us chances. So He's given us a chance. We've known who He is. So delete. Let go of the past. The old man is dead now. So now you have a new person. So now re-establish yourself. Post things that align with the brand that you're trying to build. And remove, if possible, delete all the things that would compromise your brand now. Because social media keeps things.
Yeah, it doesn't forget.
It doesn't forget. Haven't we noticed people that said something years back, and just because they're in a position of influence, it has come to haunt them?
Yeah.
So it is now that you have learned the skill, you've learned the important things, and you now know what you want to be known for. So establish yourself and delete the things that would compromise, unless somebody is going to find a way of digging something. If it is in your capacity to erase it.
Because organizations view your personal brand in a way that it can impact the brand of the business.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people that they engage in have a great impact on them. For example, if it's marketing strategy, an HIV campaign, they're not going to engage somebody who participates in a different industry. They're going to get somebody who talks about health because that is closely aligned with the brand image. So if you want to be that person that an institution in a particular field wants to work with, you don't want your brand to be inconsistent. So you have to have consistency in your brand for the particular company that you want to partner with or work for to feel you are the right person for the job. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, just what you're saying is so powerful because companies go through a lot of time and investment to brand products. This water vatra, someone thought through it, they came up with a name, the colors, the fonts, everything is put together. They then spend money to communicate that brand through billboards, radio, TV adverts. Because that sells that product,
Yeah.
And so as an individual, if I'm angling myself for position in the marketplace or in business as an entrepreneur and all those sorts of things,
Yes.
I need to think about the brand I'm putting out there, how I've packaged my brand and how I'm communicating it.
And where you're putting it.
And where I'm putting
Yes.
it.
If you want to be in mining industry, you want to find your articles being posted on the mining Indaba article.
Yes.
Because that is where you are relevant.
That's right.
Right? So where you publish yourself, which people you meet, the interviews you participate in directly reflects your visibility to the public. So you want to ensure that just like a company is so intentional about how they brand, the font, the colors, they are consistent. Also, if you want to reach a certain level where your brand is a name, you want to have a logo. Nobody is changing. Your name can be a logo that can be used. Have colors that align with you and let your posts be align with that. Please learn some graphic skills. There's free platforms that you can use like Canva for you to post quotes, be visible.
So, and if you're in a field and you want to be known as an authority in that field, then you research on the things in that field, and then you write professionally about the things in that field, and then you post them in the correct platforms.
Yes.
That's how you build your profile authority.
Yes, and also I think what is critical is every expert, remember we are all, let's say 100 of us want to be known as top lawyers when it comes to litigation, right? All of us are going to talk about litigation, but a person that's going to be unique is somebody that identifies the gap in litigation and provides a solution in that. Then people in the law fraternity are going to say, this person is saying something that is important. They've identified a loophole and they've provided the solution. Also, for you to stand out, you have to provide value, and value comes from analyzing what is it you've researched about it. Yes, quite all right, you know about this topic. So about that topic is relevant to the world now. What is the relevance of what you're discussing to the world now? It's not just about posting anything, but it's about posting relevant content also.
Content.
Yeah.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Just to sum it up, I think there's a portion of scripture, Melinda, the
Yes.
Bible, where the prophet is sent to go to the house of Jesse and anoint the new king of Israel.
Yes.
And the Bible records that there's a man called Eliab, and when the prophet looked at him, he said, surely this must be the king. Because how he stood, how he looked, how he presented himself, he looked like a king.
Yes.
And then God says, man looks at the outward appearance.
Yes.
But I don't look like
I
a man,
look
I look at the
inside.
inside. Yeah. But we are living in the world of men. And so if you don't package yourself in a way, because men are looking at the outside appearance, you may end up being written off or judged wrongly because of your brand does not communicate who you are. Wow, this is good. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you,
Really
Pastor.
appreciate you. Again, let's put our hands together.